Hey everyone, Charlene Ortiz here. Today I wanted to talk about something that was brought to my attention recently. And it's actually a topic that I have felt very strong about for most of my career as a personal trainer. Well, it started a few days ago when I saw an Instagram post from this woman, and she was talking about her weight loss and her fitness journey. And I was really inspired, by the post that she submitted on Instagram, because she has MS and she also has been diagnosed as being legally blind, and she's suffered a lot of serious health challenges in recent years, and at one point was even bedridden. And so she's been journaling her weight loss journey and sharing it with people on Instagram and YouTube, just to inspire and motivate other people. That they, even with disability, even with chronic illness, and even with a neurological disorder as serious as MS, you can absolutely achieve your health and fitness goals no matter what limitations or obstacles are in your way. And I was just really inspired, by a lot of her posts and by her story, and I watched a lot of the YouTube videos that she had, and I was just so taken by this woman. And so I sent her a message and just told her that I just thought she was very inspiring, and I really loved watching her videos, and I really enjoyed just seeing her journey and just the stuff that she was sharing with the Instagram and YouTube community. And so we started talking back and forth, and I let her know that I was a personal trainer and that my main focus for much of my career has been special populations. And so I've been trying to help her out and give her advice on how she can reach her goals while still dealing with a lot of the pain and the limitations that she has. Because the thing with people that deal with any type of chronic illness or chronic pain, when it comes to beginning an exercise program, it's so much harder when you are already suffering from some type of pain, and then to inflict additional pain on yourself with an exercise program. It's a lot harder for someone who has to push through extra discomfort and extra pain. And so I just think she's a wonderful example to people that suffer from any type of disability or limitation, that you can definitely achieve a healthier lifestyle and a better quality of life, and you can absolutely start an exercise and nutrition plan to help you to improve. And so anyway, she subscribed to my channel, and she's been watching some of the videos. And the other day she did a video and she mentioned my channel, and I was so encouraged, I was so touched that she mentioned my channel. And she made a comment, that was a message, to the fitness industry and personal trainers out there, that the special population is really a demographic that has been neglected by the fitness industry. And from a perspective of someone who does suffer from rather severe disabilities, how frustrating it is to not be able to find a trainer that really understands how to work with that demographic. And so anyway, I'm going to put a link to in my description below to her video, as well as her YouTube channel and her Instagram account. I really think that if you need any type of motivation or inspiration, to help you to reach your weight loss and fitness goals or health goals, this girl will definitely be someone that will inspire you, that you can push through challenges or obstacles that might make it difficult for you. So I was reading some of the comments that people had made on her video, and the comments were all, very encouraging, very uplifting, and people just saying just how encouraged and inspired they are by her message. And there was a couple of comments that caught my attention and really made me angry when I read them. The first one was from an individual that was telling a story about when she had a personal trainer. I guess it was a couple of years ago, I can't remember the exact time frame. And she suffers from arthritis in her knees. And she was working with her trainer, and he was pushing her beyond what was appropriate. She was feeling a pain and discomfort that she knew just wasn't right. And so she was communicating with her trainer, this doesn't feel right, like this feels inappropriate, and I know this pain is not the type of pain I should be feeling in my workout. So the trainer basically told her to quit being a big baby and that she needed to push through. Well, he ended up causing further damage to her joints, and she couldn't work out after that, and she has not been back to a gym ever since. And then there was another story about an individual, and they were telling, Wendy their story, that had a trainer, and he was, again, pushing her beyond what her limitations were. And she expressed to him, this is too challenging, this is too difficult, this doesn't feel right. I'm feeling, again, pain that's inappropriate. And he continued to push her. And he actually put his hand over her mouth and told her, if you kept your mouth shut, you would probably eat less and lose weight. And when I read that comment, I was absolutely infuriated that a trainer would have the audacity to talk to a client with that much disrespect. Well, she ultimately did report him to the supervisor. He may have gotten fired, I don't know. I personally would have gone all the way to the corporate office. I might have even slapped him across the face, I don't know. But I just could not believe just the level of disrespect that this woman was treated with by a professional and somebody that she's going to for help and guidance to help her to reach her goals so she can be in better shape and enjoy her life and be a better person. And so I really wanted to talk about this because this is something that is an issue in the fitness industry amongst a lot of personal trainers that are out there right now. Now, I've been in this industry for 20 years, and my experience is vast in terms of the different environments that I've worked in. I've worked in all kinds of different environments, from teaching an extreme high-level boot camp class to working in a physical therapy clinic. And so I've seen all different types of demographics and all different types of trainers and fitness professionals and what have you. And I would say for the most part, most trainers are decent trainers. They do treat their clients with respect, and they would never, show that much unprofessionalism or childish, behavior towards a client. And so in general, I would say that most trainers really do try to provide a good service, and they really do try to have a professional attitude when they're working with their trainers. But there is that small population of trainers that are out there that will show that type of disrespect to a client. And it's just appalling to me. And it really is beyond me, and it boggles my mind that somebody would think that type of behavior is appropriate in their place of work with somebody who's paying a lot of money for a service. And so when you're working with these individuals that are coming through the door at your gym, there's a lot of things that you have to consider when you're helping them and you're giving them the guidance and the motivation to help them to reach their goals. And I want to share just a couple stories of experiences that I've had throughout my career, of people that I've worked with, and just some of the life challenges that they had experienced, and some of the reasons why it was very difficult for them to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and why many of them went to food addiction, for comfort, or just to get their mind off of things, or to escape life and to escape life's problems. There was one particular situation in the club that I used to work at when I lived in LA. It was an all-women's gym. And when I first started working there, it was my first day on the job, literally my first fitness assessment, my first client ever. And none of the staff there really knew who I was yet because I was new. And so I told the front desk girl that I was going to run to the restroom, and there was a trainer there that had just walked in, and I introduced myself to her. I told her my name. I said, I'm Charlene, I'm one of the new trainers here. And she said, oh, nice to meet you. And then, I left and I went to the restroom. While I was in the restroom, the woman came in and she asked for me. Well, the front desk girl had no idea who I was. And the trainer that I had just introduced myself to was also standing there. And she told the woman, we don't know anybody by that name that works here. There's no trainer here by that name that is a trainer at this facility. And I understand that oftentimes we can forget people's names when they first introduce themselves to us. I mean, I have to be honest, there have been a lot of times where people have introduced themselves to me and 2 seconds later I totally forgot what they said. So if she did forget my name, like, that is understandable, it does happen. But you would think that she would have put 2 and 2 together. Okay, well, a new trainer just came and introduced herself to me, and here's, you know, a client coming in wanting to having an appointment with a new trainer, and none of us, you know, knows who she is, or none of us knows her name. Maybe it's that girl that I just met, but it boggles my mind how she couldn't figure it out. Anyway, I don't know what she was thinking, or she just wasn't thinking. Well, the woman was starting to get quite irate. And when I came out of the bathroom, she saw me. She's like, "Oh, thank God, there you are." She was like, "Oh my God, they were making me feel like I was totally crazy, and that, you know, that you didn't exist, and I knew that I had an appointment with you." And so the woman was understandably very upset. And the staff members that were dealing with her were also irritated, and they definitely made their irritation quite known. And so I apologized to her, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead. Let's go into the office, and, you know, let's get our assessment started." So as I started to talk to her, you know, about her fitness goals and her health history, and just, you know, the standard information that we go over in an initial appointment, she was about 60, 70 pounds overweight, and she obviously did not feel good about that. And she started to talk to me about how she suffered from some, you know, pretty serious food addictions, and that she had been battling a very severe depression the past couple years, because 2 years ago, or 2 years before that, her son had died in a car accident, and he was 21 years old. And I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a child as a parent. I can only imagine it would be the biggest nightmare that anybody could ever live through. And I just had a tremendous amount of compassion for this woman, you know, because just the pain and the suffering that she had endured. And then for her to make a decision, you know, that, you know what, I'm going to take control of this. I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to start working towards my goals. To come into that gym and to be treated with such disrespect as her first encounter. And, you know, it really infuriated me, because this is the thing. You never know what that person has been through when you're dealing with a new client. You never know what kind of life experiences they've had to go through. And regardless of what type of demeanor that person has when they first walk into the gym, or how overweight they are, because believe it or not, there are trainers in the industry that are very judgmental of people that are overweight. And I know it's hard to understand, because you feel like, well, aren't you in the industry to help those people? And again, this is not most trainers, you know, they do want to help people, and that is why they're there. But there is a population of trainers that will be judgmental towards those people, which again really boggles my mind. And so you never know what type of challenges this person is facing. You never know why they are suffering with the weight problems that they're suffering from. You don't know why they struggle with a food addiction. And so when you're working with a new client, you really need to take the time and the effort and have the patience to get to know them and their situation, why they've gotten to where they are, and what obstacles are going to be in the way, so that you can help them to overcome that. And this is the thing. If you want to be successful in the fitness industry, you really have to be, customer service has to be your #1 priority. And you have to be 100% committed to every single client that walks through that door. Even if it's a free fitness assessment and you don't know if this person's going to purchase training, you still have to give them a phenomenal service. And if you're not capable of doing that, get out of the industry. do something else. Because this is an industry where you are there to provide a service to these people. These people are looking to you as a fitness professional to help them to reach their goals because they have not been able to do it on their own. And you're dealing with an aspect of their life that is incredibly vulnerable, which is their weight, and the most important part of their life, which is their health. And if they come in there and you treat them with disrespect, or not even, maybe you're not even blatantly disrespectful, but you're just, you know, very, you know, just kind of nonchalant, like you're just like, all right, we'll come in, let's go ahead and get started. Like you just have no compassion, you have no excitement to meet them, like you don't show any type of motivation to help this person. You're just there because you're getting paid. Again, get out of the industry. You don't belong here. You belong in another industry. Maybe you need to be sitting in front of a computer and talking and interacting with a machine all day, but you certainly should not be interacting with people that are looking to you to motivate them and inspire them and encourage them, to help them to improve their life so that they can enjoy life, live a longer life and a healthier life. And so when Wendy, you know, brought this up, you know, I thought to myself, you know, this really is an issue that needs to be addressed, because there really is a huge, the special populations demographic really is hugely overlooked. And I know that working with special populations certainly takes more education. It does take more patience, more time, more energy. And if that's not really your forte, maybe you want to work with athletes or you want to work with a different type of demographic, that's fine. Your focus does not have to be special populations. But when you are working with a client that does have any types of injuries or any types of ailments or limitations, you really need to, number one, you need to learn what it is they're suffering from and educate themselves. And number two, you need to listen when they tell you, you know, that doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel comfortable. There's a difference between a client, you know, who is saying, I don't want to do this just because they don't want to push through the fatigue, and a client who really is in pain. And so, because in the 20 years that I've been training, all this information and the education that I have now in terms of my ability to help this population, I didn't wake up with it one day. It took me years of study and research, reading articles, subscribing to different journals, going to seminars. It took a lot of work, a lot of effort and energy for me to learn what I know now. And I still have so much more to learn. There's still new techniques and new evidence and new research that I'm learning. Like, I'm never going to stop learning. I'm always going to be trying to better myself as a trainer to really provide the best service I possibly can to my clients to help them to reach their goals and improve the quality of their life. And for those of you that are looking to work with a trainer, or you're thinking about it, or you have a personal trainer that you're working with right now, you really need to pay attention and observe the behavior of your trainer. And one thing that I've never mentioned in any of my videos, because I always forget, is I actually wrote a book. And I've also written several ebooks as well. I'll talk about my main book in a second, but I've written several ebooks that are available on Amazon. And I'll put the link in the description below to my ebooks. But one of the ebooks I wrote is how to know if you're hiring a good trainer. And in this guide, I talk about specific things that you need to look for before you hire a trainer. And so that way you can be assured that you're going to get a trainer who's going to be educated and who's going to provide a wonderful service, and a trainer who's not going to hurt you. And so if you're at the gym, you know, and you're looking for a personal trainer, or you have a personal trainer right now, and during the training session, your trainer is doing this, where they're just kind of looking around. You know, and I've never understood that. When I've been at the gym and I'll see a trainer with their client just kind of looking around. I'm like, what are you looking at? Your client's right in front of you. You know, what's over there that's so interesting? And it infuriates me. And I just want to shake that trainer. Like, pay attention to your client. They're paying you a lot of money. Your trainer, Your trainer should be watching you like a hawk, like seriously. They should be watching your form. They should be watching your technique. They should be giving you constant instruction the whole time. They should be helping you with your breathing pattern. I mean, your trainer should be constantly giving you instruction and direction, asking you how you're feeling. Is that challenging enough? Is that okay on your knees? Are you keeping neutral spine? Are you breathing? You know, whatever. Your trainer should be completely 100% engaged with you and nothing else. If you have a trainer that is bringing their cell phone on the gym floor, get rid of them. Fire your trainer. Because this is the thing, in my experience, one thing that I've noticed that has been very difficult for a lot of clients is that if they have a trainer and they're not getting a great service, and I've even had a lot of members from gyms that I've worked at, you know, talk to me and say, oh, Charlene, I'm working with this trainer and I really don't like him or her. And, but I feel bad, you know, because I've been working with them now for 3 months, but I'm not seeing results, and they're on their phone, or they're always, you know, talking to somebody else or looking around, and I'm really dissatisfied with the service. And they don't want to fire the trainer because, number one, they don't want to hurt the trainer's feelings. Number two, they don't want to deal with the discomfort of seeing that trainer at the gym, you know, if they fire that trainer and go work with somebody else. And here's the thing, you have to get over that. If you're in that position right now, you have to get over that. Get rid of your trainer, fire your trainer. Who cares about their feelings? They obviously don't care about your feelings. They obviously don't care about the service that they're giving you. They really probably don't give a damn about you, and you're paying them probably 70 bucks an hour. And so think about that and let that motivate you to be very comfortable with firing your trainer. And if your trainer is going to act unprofessional and rude to you, you know, if you do fire them and go on to another trainer and they're going to be very rude and unprofessional, then bring it up with the management and tell them, you know, I'm being treated in a very unprofessional way by this trainer, and they need to behave like an adult and not act like a child, because the reality is sometimes clients and trainers just they're not going to mix. And it might not even be because the trainer's giving a bad service or this is a bad client. Sometimes clients and trainers just don't mix. It's happened to me before where I've had to pass a client on to another trainer. And when I saw that client, I still had a big smile on my face and said, hi, how are you? It's great to see you. I hope you're really enjoying your sessions with Michelle or whoever, you know, and I still maintain a professional attitude because that is my job as a trainer. And so never, ever feel afraid to fire your trainer if you really are getting a bad service. If you like your trainer, but you feel like they are doing things with you that are inappropriate, that are causing inappropriate pain that you know just isn't right, communicate with them and tell them, you know, this does not feel comfortable. If they're trying to push you beyond what you know is right, especially if you are special population, especially if you have MS or fibromyalgia, and you know if you're pushed too hard, you're going to have a flare-up that's going to, you know, kick you off your feet for the next week. Communicate with your trainer and tell them, look, this is not appropriate. I'm not going to do it. You know, we need to find another way to train. You know, so never, ever feel too intimidated to speak up to your trainer. And this is another thing, too, with the personal trainers. With a lot of the people that are coming into the gym and that are hiring you, you know, for your services. Keep in mind that in general, and this isn't always true, I'm going to talk about this in a second. In general, personal trainers are going to be in better shape than the average individual. And so if you see someone coming in that is out of shape, you know, not very familiar with exercise or machines or the gym environment, and here you walk up, you know, looking good, you know, having a nice body and everything, they're immediately going to feel intimidated by you. It's just the nature of how people are. Even though they're going to expect that of you, right away they're going to be thinking, is this person judging me? Do they think I'm disgusting? You know, whatever. That's what's going to go through their mind. And so that's why whenever you approach a new client, you have to approach them in a very warm and friendly way. make eye contact, have a big smile when you approach them. Say, hey, you know, Susie May, it's so great to meet you. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and get started in helping you reach towards your goals. I am so excited, you know, to help you and to be part of your journey and getting stronger and healthier. You know, just approach them in a way where they feel welcomed, where they feel like you're excited, and right away, that intimidation they feel will completely disappear and they will be totally at ease with you. And that is the type of environment that your client should be working in. An environment where they feel cared for and where they feel at ease, they feel like they're not being judged, and they feel like your main intention really is to help them reach their goals, and you have a true and sincere a concern, you know, to helping them become a better, healthier individual. And so you really need to keep that in mind on what their perception of you is going to be, especially if you're someone who's never struggled with your weight. If you've always been in shape, you're an athlete, you've always been in great shape. Again, it's kind of hard to understand what their mindset is and where they're coming from. So you really need to keep that in mind. And so, but I wanted to share, you know, also a couple stories, or I'll just share one in particular, which is not too long, but of just, again, horrible trainers that I've encountered. And again, and this is, again, the type of trainer that you need to be looking out for. So I used to work at this one facility when I lived in LA. And there was a guy that worked there that was a trainer. And first of all, he was overweight. I mean, he had like a big belly, which first of all boggled my mind. I did not understand it. I'm not saying every trainer has to look like a fitness model or a bodybuilder. I'm not saying that. But you should at least look like you put some effort into what you look like. Carry yourself like you're strong. You know, carry yourself like you're healthy. And the perfect example to this is the gym that I used to work at, a Total Woman in Los Angeles. And I worked with an amazing staff. Oh my God, the women there were so wonderful. By far one of the most amazing staff of people I've ever worked with. And if any of you guys are watching this, I miss you, I love you so much. And it really was such a great privilege to work amongst you guys. But these women were badass. You know, a lot of them were in their 40s, 50s, even 60s. A lot of them had like 3, 4, 5 kids. And, you know, they weren't the size 2 fitness model, you know, whatever, but they looked fantastic. I mean, they looked strong, they carried themselves strong, and they were also very relatable to a lot of the members there and an inspiration, because they definitely did, it definitely was clear that they took care of themselves, but they also weren't intimidating to the members there. They really were an inspiration, because the member would say, wow, here's a woman who's in her 50s, has had 3 children, and she looks fantastic. So you can, you know, look strong and healthy, and you don't have to have this perfect, you know, little fitness model body. But you have to look like you do something. I mean, come on, that's common sense. So anyway, this guy would come in here with his big old belly, and he would come in with his flip-flops, and his client, you know, would be there waiting for him. And then he would tell his clients, okay, go ahead and start doing, you know, some push-ups. While his client was doing push-ups, he would take off his flip-flops with his bare feet, which is so disgusting, and he would put his socks and shoes on while his client was warming up doing push-ups. I wanted to punch this guy in the face. He was so ridiculous. I just could not understand the unprofessionalism and the audacity of him to come in there like that. And trainers like that really do exist. And I think we've all been to gyms where we've seen it, where we've seen trainers that have come in, and we're looking at them like, that's a personal trainer? Like, if someone has to question if someone is a personal trainer, you shouldn't be in the industry. Or you really need to get in shape, you know, and try to, you know, get yourself looking like you actually exercise, then maybe get into the industry. But people shouldn't look at you and question, that person's a trainer? And anyway, this guy was just a perfect example. And he would bring his cell phone onto the gym floor. And that's another thing. You know, if you have a trainer that's bringing their cell phone onto the gym, there's no reason why a trainer should ever need their cell phone on the gym floor. If they work at a corporate facility, like I used to, Total Woman or 24-Hour Fitness, or whatever corporate industries, or corporate fitness companies are in your area, there is a staff phone. There is a front desk number that if there is an emergency, a family member can call the front desk and communicate with that trainer if there is an emergency. They do not need to have their cell phone on the floor, and there's no circumstance when they should ever have it. If they have it on the floor and they are actually looking at it, fire that trainer, because that person does not have your interest in mind. They could care less. And so, but anyway, guys, again, I really feel like there are trainers out there that are trying to give a good job. They are trying to give a good service and do the best that they can. And the fitness industry, I would say, over the years has generally improved because there's a lot more education available to trainers now, and there's a lot more resources that we can access so that we can become better trainers and give our clients a better service. And also a service where we know that we're not going to injure them. There's a lot of resources out there. One of them would be PT on the Net. Is a great personal training website that if you're a trainer, you can become a member of. It's like 11 bucks a month, and there's so many resources on there. If you are working with a client that has any type of condition or whatever their goals are, there's a lot of information from a lot of professionals like physical therapists, orthopedic doctors, what have you, where you can really get great education and you can learn to become, a better trainer in that sense. So for those of you that are in the training industry, one thing that, again, as I said earlier, the first thing that's going to assure your success is, number one, always giving wonderful customer service. Always. Whenever you are in a training session, you have to be 100% engaged with your client. Nothing else at that time period should matter except for your client and what they're doing and what their goals are. If you give that type of service, that type of attention, that type of concern, and sincere desire to help them, if you show that to your clients, they will stay with you forever, and you will also attract other clients because they will see you, they will watch you, and they will notice and say, look at that trainer and look how well she treats her clients. Number one. Number two, become as educated as you possibly can. Really try to learn about anatomy and physiology. And I really want to put an emphasis on physiology, not just the muscles, but understand how the nervous system works, understand the endocrine system, the lymphatic system, understand, the brain, and what different sections of the brain. Really take the time to learn and understand in depth how the body works and what the bodily processes are and how they all relate and interconnect with each other. Because again, when you're trying to help somebody lose weight, oftentimes it goes way beyond exercise and changing their nutrition. There could be other factors involved. So it's very important that you have a very intricate and detailed understanding on how the body works and how it functions, and you will better be able to serve your client and help them to achieve their goals. And again, that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that happens over time, as you continue to put that energy and effort. And this is energy and effort that you're not getting paid for. But if you really want to do well in the industry and you really want to go far, those are the two most important things. Give a great service and educate yourself. And if you're a new trainer, you've just started in the industry, I'm really glad that you're watching this right now too, so that you can understand that our job is very serious. This is not just going in and giving somebody a workout. In some cases that might be the case, but in a lot of times, it's going to go beyond that. And you're going to be dealing with people's personal problems and a lot of the challenges that they deal with emotionally. And certainly we are not, psychologists, we are not those types of professionals, and there is an industry, for that. However, that is going to be part of what we do. So you need to be prepared and be able to take that on. When people come in and they're having a bad day, they had a fight with their husband, they're frustrated with their boss, you need to be able to provide encouragement and calm them down and get them into a better place and a better energy. You need to be able to do that. So there is going to be some psychology involved in what you do. And again, if that's not something you think you're going to be able to do, then this might not be the right industry for you. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't get into this industry knowing that you're not going to be able to provide that and, you know, and give people a horrible service where they could, you know, get hurt, number one, and number two, have a really bad experience where they never want to go back to a gym again. And so it's very, very important to consider these things. And so if you are a new trainer or you've been training for a while and you would like to learn more about how to work with special populations, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to help you out with any questions that you have. You can talk, I have my Facebook and my Google Plus account in the description below, so you can message me or through Facebook or Google Plus. My Instagram, I think, is also down there too. And I'd be more than happy, you know, to work with you and teach you what I've learned over the years. I certainly don't know everything, you know, but if there's anything that I can do to help you to provide a better service to your clients, again, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time and I've really learned a lot, you know, and so I would be more than happy to share what I've learned with anybody in the industry who wants to provide a better service. So, okay guys, well, thank you so much for listening to my rant today. And I know it was a bit of a rant, but I think it definitely was a very important message. And Wendy, thank you so much again for giving me a shout out in your video the other day and for bringing this to the attention of a lot of people, especially personal trainers. And so remember guys, take care of yourself. Protect yourself physically and emotionally. And don't forget, your health is your most valuable asset. Invest in it. Bye-bye.